The mind has this need for familiarity. It prefers to repeat something that's very harmful, very negative, very limiting for years, decades, lifetimes. But as long as it's familiar, it can prepare itself, it can recognize the patterns, and it presumes you're safe. So the mind doesn't have our happiness as its best interest. It just wants survival. And that's why it's so hard to change, because even to consider change, you have to consider modifying the mind and walking in the unknown, and walking in what is not familiar, what cannot be predicted. So for the mind, this sounds dangerous, and it doesn't want to do it. So people who really go to change their minds with therapy, they are like the real deal. They're really smart people. But I do understand, and I have compassion, because I know sometimes we have to hit the wall many, many, many times until we were like, okay, there is no way out. I'm just going to keep banging my head here, and nothing will change. And I remember once I moved to Dubai after 6-7 months in the job I was having. I worked for a logistics company there. I was key account manager, and it was very stressful. And my whole life, my whole career was very stressful, because working for supply chain is difficult. It's not easy task. And I remember working in the computer, and then eventually something was wrong with my eyes, and then eventually my head started hurt really bad, and I asked somebody to take me to the hospital. And by the time we got there, I couldn't walk and I couldn't see. Everything was black, and I really thought I was having a stroke or something. But when I got inside the hospital, the doctor told me I was having a panic attack. He gave me some painkillers and tranquilizers, and he put me in a drip. I remember as soon as I could start seeing again, my first thoughts were, how much work did I miss today? How much time do I need to put on to make it up for today? So you see how little we care for ourselves, for our health, and how little self-love I had back there for myself. How much I was sacrificing for my life. You know, I was blind, and literally my sight took about 2-3 days to get back to normal. And the only thing I could think about was about working, was about the amount of work I had to process the day after. I almost died. It's very peculiar, it's very scary. We just keep going compulsively like a mouse walking on the spinning wheel, and like robots, literally. And it took me about another 3-4 years to finally understand that there was something emotionally, mentally that needed to be worked on, so then I could change my experiences, how I felt, my reality. But if you asked me back there if I was happy, if everything was okay, I'll be like, yeah, everything is fine, I'm fine. And so I understand, and I have compassion for people who have not yet reached their limit, because until you reach your limit, you're just gonna keep going. You're just gonna keep banging your head on the wall and expecting different results, expecting happiness in the future, expecting better relationships, more money, more health, more happiness, and it's not gonna come, and it's gonna cost your health.